Hello students, good morning everyone. Today we are going to see one important topic of cybersecurity module 3, high performance computing and cluster computing. So let us see in detail what it is. High performance computing, abbreviated as HPC. High performance computing comes under distributed computing, also cloud computing and grid computing. High performance computing use of supercomputer and parallel processing technique solving complex computational problem. It focuses on parallel processing algorithm. We know that in today's era everyone is using internet, everyone is using WhatsApp, everyone is using email, everyone is using Facebook. So nearly 50% people are connected to the internet, and day by day it is going on increasing. That means considering 2020 average internet user is 1.5 gigabytes per day, and it may be 6 megabytes in 2015. Considering machines, small hospital generates 3000 gigabytes of data, during car 4000 gigabytes of data, and aeroplanes 40,000 gigabytes a day. So terabytes to petabytes of zettabytes of data is there in today's era. Result is minutes to hours instead of days or week, means by sending messages and emails. Distributed computing resources to solve complex problems with very large data set. Now we will see what is high performance computing. High performance computing, in the sense, these are the servers and these are the computers which are connected on the internet, and these with the help of internet these computers are connected to this server. Okay, now suppose I will tell you one thing. You have 100 terabyte of video file. You have 100 terabyte of video file. We need to process this 100 terabyte of file. Just imagine how much time it will take. It is possible to load 100 terabyte in single machine and run some algorithm to process that file to check the presence or absence of cat image. How much time it will take? One machine with high computerized network, not possible. In distributed computing mechanism, what method to approach, what kind of exact computing technique? Suppose you have a 100 terabyte of video file, okay, and you need to find from that cat image. From 100 terabyte of video file you need to find the cat image. So it is not possible that like 100 terabyte of file you will store on the computer, on one computer, and it will process 100 terabyte of file and it will find the cat image. It is not possible, because that processing capability is not having in a single computer, and that single computer cannot perform all these operations of searching the cat image in 100 terabyte of file, video file. So what to do? So preferably you will divide that 100 terabyte into 1 terabyte each, and each computer will and there will be 100 computers, and each having one processing of 1 terabyte. Each computer will give 1 terabyte file to process. So single computer can process 1 terabyte of file possible, and first machine output, if cat is not found, then it searches for second machine, then it searches for third machine, and up till now 100 machines are found. Then if the cat image is not found in 100 machines, then it will declare that cat image is not there in 100 terabyte file. Means it will search in computer 1, then computer 2, then computer 3, computer 4, and so on up till now computer 100. So if 100 machines tell that cat is image is not found, and it cannot conclude that there is no cat because 100 machine is remaining. So such type of application comes under high performance computing task. Now here the binding is close, means in the sense this is example of high performance computing. Here coupling is strongly coupling in the sense means in the sense one computer cannot found the cat image, okay, 1 terabyte of file, so it will process the data to the second computer. So second computer cannot find the cat image, then it will process data to the third computer. That means there is a linking between the computers. Remember that there is a linking between computers, that one computer is processing, it is not finding the cat image, then another computer is processing, then it is not finding the cat image, then another computer is processing, that is not finding the cat image, and maybe that image will be found at 100th computer or 90th computer or 70th computer, 60th computer, whatever it may be. But every computer is linked to any other computer, so that is tight coupling. So that is called tight coupling, because result of one computer is depend on another computer. So that is the purpose of high performance computing. Here we find strongly dependency coupled, but same thing can't be applicable in every other requirement. So based on requirement we need to apply appropriate computing techniques. So here in high performance computing, different computers are used to process the data. That means it is nothing but the example, a best example is supercomputer. Supercomputer alone cannot process the data, so it uses different its clusters to process the data and find the output. High throughput computing. Now high throughput computing, in the sense you will see it is called cluster computing. Here do you know when you type google.com, do you know that when you type Google search engine is running on a single machine, everyone is using Google search, yes, but Google search is running on one server? Do you think, is it correct? Suppose I am running google.com, you are running google.com, he is running google.com, and searching different thing which you want. I am running google.com for searching nodes of cyber security, he is running google.com for searching nodes of mathematics, he is running google.com for searching nodes of electronics, she is running google.com for searching nodes of chemistry. So different people are using different Google search for different purpose, okay. So whether it is possible there is only one server of Google where millions of people are searching through Google different thing? No, obviously, exactly, no one server is there. There are a lot of servers of google.com are there, with the help of which your searching is going on. And that's why Google search is not only the one server, there are a lot of server in India or in different countries or different states, okay. So this is example of distributed computing, because there are different Google search engines are there, they are connected to different servers. So many machines are used for Google search, maybe thousands of machines, thousands of server, okay. That is example of high throughput computing, means high cluster computing. Imagine if you are typing something in Google. If Google says there are thousands of users in queue, but you want immediate response, yes, means just I told I am searching for nodes of chemistry, you are searching for nodes of biology, she is searching for nodes of electronics, he is searching for nodes of maths. So different Google are searching on Google, and they won't reply within fraction of second. Same is the requirement of all other computers. They want immediate response. Suppose you want Android program immediate response. If Google says there are 10,000 people in queue, will you wait? No, obviously not, right? Do you need high performance? Yes. Not yes, I need. So I need distributed mechanism where thousands of computers connected. It is a big network of machines. High throughput computing. In previous high performance computing, example, 100 machines were working on common task. The goal was common, but in high throughput computing, each and every request is independent, and I requesting Google to handle the request independently. Previously we use word strong coupled, and here we use loosely coupled, because every task is independent on different other tasks. Throughput means in particular time how much events occur, how much task completed. Means throughput in the sense how much user gets reply within fraction of second. Means chemistry notes they will get within fraction of second, or if electronics note they will get within fraction of second, or chemistry notes or electronics notes or maths note they will get within fraction of second. So it requires throughput, okay, in HTC. HPC, there was only one task. HPC means how many requests completed in time. In HPC means it is ability to process data and perform complex calculation at high speed. Just I told you, it is example, best example is supercomputer. Laptop or desktop with 3 gigahertz processor can perform around 3 billion calculation per second. Now the best example of HPC is supercomputer. It is similar to having thousands of PC in network together, combining compute power to complete task faster. HPC uses parallel processing for running advanced application programs efficiently, reliably and quickly. HPC is foundation of scientific, industrial and social advancement. The technologies like Internet of Things, artificial intelligence and 3D imaging. For many purposes such as streaming a live sporting event, tracking developing storm, ability to process data in real time is crucial. High performance computing bring together several technologies, computers architecture, algorithm, programs and electronics and system software. HTC, number of programs executed per second. Throughput increase means operation for more time decrease. Security issues, reliability issues are not there in HTC. Okay, so we will see another part. So we have seen what is high performance computing and high throughput computing. Now we will see cluster computing. Cluster computing, it is a group of independent computers combined in unified system through software. Just I told you example of cluster computing is high throughput computing, google.com. Cluster is typically used for high availability or high performance computing to provide great computational power than a single computer can provide. I give an example of cat finding image in 100 terabyte of file. Cluster categories are high availability cluster, load balancing cluster, high performance cluster and grid cluster. High availability, these clusters are designed to provide availability of data or service. Web service in the sense, we know that modern college is having web server which is used for admission system like Riddhi, ePravesh, Splashgain. Okay, so this server should not wait. Whether the student want to fill the form in night 10 p.m. it should be allowed to fill, or whether the student want to fill the form at morning 11 p.m. still student should be allowed to fill it. So the service should not wait. So that is example of web services in cluster computing. If a node fails, the service can be restored without affecting the availability of service provided by cluster. Means if any server go down, by default automatically another server should be made active without affecting the availability of the service. Means if any of the server goes down, it should be made available within fraction of second another server, and it should be transparent to the user. The purpose of this cluster is to ensure that single instance of application is only ever running on one cluster member at a time, but if and then when that cluster member is not longer active, the application with failover means duplicate another cluster member should be made available. That's what I told you. High availability cluster, in the sense email service, that is best example of high availability cluster. Means if any server goes down, it doesn't affect the email service like Gmail, Hotmail, then Yahoo, then email server and load balancer backup. We will see that. Load balancer cluster, this type of cluster distribute incoming request from resources among multiple nodes running same program. Both the high availability and load balancing cluster technologies can be combined to increase reliability, availability and scalability of application and data resources. They are widely available. Every node is a cluster is able to handle requests for some same content or application. Now load balancing, in the sense, suppose our modern college is having only one web server, and now consider that only one web server it is having, and its capacity is 100 user per the bear. Means that college web server can bear only 100 user at a time. Now the users are rising from 100 to 200. So what to do? So what college will do? College will build up another server. Means if students are filling form, then if it count goes more than 100, then after the 100 student, means 100 and 102, these student 100 more than the student above 100 should be redirected to another server. Means 101, 102, 103 and so on, they will be redirected to the another server. That means indirectly the load on that main server will be reduced, because it has a capacity of only 100 user, and if it changes more than 100 users are there, then they will redirect it to another server. That is called load balancing. And suppose this is the technique which is very good, and if we can say if any server goes down, runtime, if any server goes down, then what we will do? We will having a cache memory of server. So we will cache that cache memory and will load that data with another passive server, make into active server, and we will carry on the work. Means taking the data from the cache memory, we will convert, we will do our work with taking the cache memory. We will make passive server as active server, and with the help of cache memory we will update that passive server to active server, and student will allow to fill up the form. This thing will happen so fast, the student will be transparent to these activities. So that is also best example of load balancing. Now load balancing, and it is told that the resources are all running the same program. Okay. Now another thing is load balancing, in the sense, suppose one server is capacity of 100 user, and the capacity has been increased to more than 100. So in that case, what we will do, we will we will utilize the resources in such a manner, in such a way that the load will be balanced. Okay, like we have cache memory. Then another thing is cache memory, and we will see one thing. Okay, so in this way we can reduce the load on the server, and we can balance the load on the server. Like I want to tell one point. Suppose we are having, so this type of distribution is typically seen in web hosting. Web hosting means lot of people are searching on the net, lot of people are searching on the different topics on the net, and so that is called web hosting. Means different topics, there are different servers are there for different topics, and data has been loaded on that server, and different users are accessing that sites. Okay, so every node in the cluster is able to handle requests for same content or application. So this type of distribution is typically seen in the web hosting. Web hosting means when you type something on the internet, that directly goes to that server and it fetches the content from that server. That is called web hosting. And you might be knowing that something there in server there is a called log. With the help of log, you can determine what is the current status of that server, which application are running on that server, and which programs that server is using. So with the help of log files only also we can determine the server. And so it is very helpful when any server goes down and you want to make any passive server as active server. So in that case we can note down the log files, and with the help of log files we can recover the data, and we can make passive server as active server. So these things about load balancing, something different servers are there, and these are the client we are accessing the server on the internet. And since if this is the college web server, and and it is having, college is having 2 to 3 web server, because if any server goes down, then another server made passive server made should be active server. And that I told you, with cache memory of this server made available to this server, and with the help of which it is know the current state of the different operation, and that server can be made active. Another thing I told you, log files of this server are known to this server, and with the help of log files we can make what the current state was that of the server, and we can make this server as a active server. So parallel and distributed processing cluster. Now parallel distributed processing cluster, in the sense we know that once just now we have seen example in HPC, high performance computing, one server cannot perform all the operation. If I told you one server perform, if I ask you, can one server perform 100 terabyte of video file checking for one cat image, you will say no, it is not possible for one server to process the 100 terabyte of file to find the cat image. So it is having for public network, it is having one IP address, and for internal thing like a switch, it is having one IP address. Remember that these switch are not normal switch, these are very standard switch, with the help of which this node 1 can send data to node 2 at a rate of 1 gigabyte and 2 gigabyte and 3 gigabyte of data. That is not there in normal switch. Okay, that's why these switch are used in parallel and distributed processing. And here task of this node 0 and node 1 are different, but after performing the node 0, the node 1 will process, and after performing processing node 1, node 2 will process. After processing node 2, node 3 will process, and node n. So that is about the parallel and distributed processing cluster. Because this one single computer cannot process 100 terabyte of file, so that's why he is having a switch. With the help, he will distribute the task among the different computer, and these different computer will perform the task, execute the task, and he will execute the work. So that is all about the parallel and distributed computing. So we have seen high performance computing and cluster computing is nothing but the high throughput computing. Thank you.